Hi everyone, got another card to share with you today, and this time I'm using the Bright and Beautiful stamp set that's in the new holiday catalogue that starts today, and it's some gorgeous Christmas stars and it matches with the new stars framelits in the annual catalogue. And for the month of August you can get this stamp set and the framelits as a bundle deal, and if you buy the big shot you can actually get them both for free, which is exciting. So you can find out those details at my blog scrapronnie.com. But anyway, this card that I'm showing you today, I've stamped up these stars with Versamark on Lost Lagoon card and using some white embossing powder. And I've also stamped up one of the sentiments in this set, the season's greetings. Done the same with Versamark and the white embossing. And this is a card that I created for a swap that I'm in with my team. So I get to create 8 of these. So they're a little bit of work, this card. It's quite detailed, but I want to do something special for the swap, so I hope everyone likes it. So then I've got out my stars mask, which is new from the annual catalogue, and I'm going to ink it up with some Versamark, just from the corner of my pad of that Versamark through that mask. I just put a bit of wax paper underneath so I didn't get Versamark all over my grid paper there. So it's a bit hard to see with Versamark to see if you've got everything done, but it works out well. There was a couple little stars that didn't quite work, but I just used the Versamark to go through that mask, get little stars on there, and just covered it with the white embossing powder as well. And it was a little bit messy, so I've just cut out a little bit of the video here of me just getting a little paintbrush out and scooping off a couple of the little extra bits of powder. It just sticks a little bit because of the mask, that's all. And of course I had to heat set all this, so I cut a bit of that out as well because there was quite a bit to heat set there. So you can sort of see on the camera there the stars. So it's white embossing powder on white, so it was just meant to be a bit of a texture background. So then I used the star framelit, I should say, to cut out those stars. I know stars aren't that difficult to cut out, but I have to say it's so much nicer when you've got a framelit to cut it out. Especially using the magnetic platform makes life a lot easier. So if I hadn't have stamped that little star quite so close to the other ones, I could have just run it all through once, but a little bit too close. So it didn't take much effort to really have to run that through twice. And you know that you're going to get a perfect cutout. So I cut out my stars, and then I got out my Lost Lagoon marker because I decided I wanted a little bit of extra dimension to these cards. So I just got the marker and just inked just around a few key spots around the edging of where the embossing is, and it just highlights it, just that little bit, and gives that little bit of dimension and shading to it, because the ink from the marker is just slightly darker than the colour of the cardstock. So I just ran around the points because I'm going to layer these stars up on top of each other, so you're only going to see the point. So that's why I didn't do the middle of the large star, and I'm not doing the middle of the medium star either. So I just went around and did them all. So as you can see, this card does take a little bit of extra time, but you could not do this part and it would be a lot quicker to get your card done. So then to match the stars, I also wanted to do my sentiment. So just on one side of each of the letters, I put a little bit of marker as well, and it just made it look like a little bit of shading. So I don't know if you can see it real well on camera there. I tried to show you there. So I got out my hexagon punch once again to make my little banners. If you haven't seen my other videos, I love my hexagon punch. I don't know how I live without it. And then I just wanted to make the sentiment just a little bit more shiny. So I just inked it along the top and the bottom with my two-way glue pen and put some dazzling diamonds on it. And then with each of my stars, I'm also just highlighting just a few little parts around each point. In the center, the little one there, I did it in the center as well. Just to highlight, just to give it a little bit of sparkle, because you just can't have Christmas without some sparkling. And so that's the way I did it. So I just went around and just put a little bit on each one. And of course I have still got glitter everywhere. Dazzling diamonds, you just end up with glitter everywhere. So I did this card this afternoon, and then I went down to the shops, and I'm sure I looked really nice and sparkly at the grocery store. The joys of being a crafter. Okay, so I put all the sparkle on that I wanted to and cleaned that up. Now I used a separate piece of paper for my embossing powder to my glitter, because I've learnt that lesson in the past. Don't mix it up, because you'll end up with both bits in the last jar. Okay, so now on the piece of paper that I embossed my star background on, I'm just adding a little bit of the silver ribbon. So this is a really beautiful sparkly silver ribbon. So I just did two little stripes along the bottom. So I'm going to sit my sentiment on top of that. And then I got out my corner rounder to mark off those edges. Because I'm going to double mat this card, just rounding off those edges made it a little bit softer on the top. So I wanted a lot of dimension in this card, so I'm actually going to pop up this top mat, even though I'm going to be layering up my star as well, so it's going to get quite thick. So if you are going to mail this card, then you might want to think about your layers to how thick your card wants to be. I know some people get a bit funny with having to pay more than the minimum to send a card. So I pop that on, and then with my star, so the back star, I just put some tape runner in the middle and then foam tape on each of the points. And then the next star is going to be all foam. So it gives it quite a bit of dimension without that back star being completely popped up as well. So because the center of it's down a bit, it gives that bit of dimension between the next layer, as well as giving dimension to the back star to the mat. I don't know if I've just confused everyone then. Anyway, it's the way I did it. Now, when I did my sentiment on top of my ribbon, I actually put my dimensionals on the top and the bottom so that it's not actually sitting on the ribbon, because I haven't attached that ribbon to the card. It's only attached at the back of the card. If I just put my foam dots on top of the ribbon, it's a bit loose. So if I put it on the top or bottom, it's stuck to the card, nothing's coming off. So I put some rhinestones on it as well, and that's my finished card. I turned the camera light on there to try and get you a little bit closer to see the dimensions. But anyway, you can check it all out at scrapronnie.com, and I hope to see you next time.